After listening to the growth story of the chapter level, it's time to move on to a global perspective about the global growth journey of ICF as an organization, growth opportunities in the emerging future, what growth really looks like for an organization that's already a market leader in coaching profession, and what growth means to the leader and CEO of an organization. And who better than Magdalena Nowicka Mook? We popularly call her Magda, CEO ICF, to address these questions. Magda brings experience in fundraising, coaching and consulting, and association management. She is the CEO of ICF, where she acts as a partner to the ICF's global board of directors. Magda is an association management professional, trained professional coach, and systems facilitator. Magda received her MS in Economics and International Trade from the Warsaw School of Economics, Poland. She holds a degree from Copenhagen Business School in International Management and Consulting. In 2019, Magda was recognized as #1 coach, global influence by Marshall Goldsmith Thinkers 50 and was a finalist for the Thinkers 50 Distinguished Award in Coaching and Mentoring. In 2021 and 22, she was recognized as one of the top 30 global gurus in organizational culture. Magda was also recently appointed to the 2022 ASAE Foresight Works Advisory Group. She is also a member of the International Association of Women, ATD, and is an advisory member for WIAL and Choice Magazine. She will be delivering her keynote address on the subjects I mentioned above. And folks, after her keynote address, Magda has agreed to take a few questions. So please post your questions on the chat box. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Magda. Over to you, Magda.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for the invitation. As I said, it's always good to start your Friday with the party. It is morning for me, so what a better way to start the Friday, right? And again, I am at awe really to see how fantastic results the chapter achieved in such a short time. And the Dream Dare Do seems to be just the very appropriate theme for this particular event and for celebrating the accomplishments of the last couple of years. And as it was said, you know, the growth of ICF is also unprecedented. As you all know, ICF was first established in 1995. I joined in 2005, long time ago. And at that point, ICF had about 8,000 coaches, members. It had about 1,000 credentialed coaches in the world. It was a very small budget. And there were 5 of us, staff members, 5. Move forward to now, and we have almost 60,000 members around the globe, closing on 50,000 credential holders. So congratulations on the 100 soon for the chapter. And we also have a much more forgiving budget, and we are close to 90 professional staff members around the globe. When I first started, ICF was predominantly North American, and now less than half of our population, quite frankly, about 47% of ICF members reside in North America. The rest are coming from every other corner of the world, and I mean it. Our coaches are present in over 160 countries. So this is phenomenal. And what it also points to is that coaching is not just a localized phenomenon. Coaching is truly an international phenomenon. And for some reason, speaking of dreaming, the people who created ICF from the very beginning had that term international in its name. They had that vision, they had that hard vision, right? That coaching is gonna become a global phenomenon, and there will be people, much to what you said, Vijay, about you just start with small group and then others join. They did. And there were these groups of very committed individuals who are willing to take the pain and willing to grow the organization to where we are now. And quite frankly, we're not stopping. We're not even slowing down. We are welcoming more than 1,000 new members every month. And they are, again, coming from absolutely every corner of the world, which is a testament to the reach of coaching and to the growing awareness of coaching. Speaking of awareness, as you know, we are conducting studies with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and the study of awareness, global awareness of coaching, and that's the awareness coming from the consumers or general public. It's not the survey of the coaches. That global awareness of coaching jumped to 73% last year of the surveyed persons aged 18 and older. When we first did that survey in 2010, that awareness was about 50%. It is absolutely unprecedented growth in global awareness of professional coaching. We asked our colleagues from PricewaterhouseCoopers, because they do these studies for many, many different professions, and we asked them if they saw anything like that in other fields, and they said nope. This is just like a snowball effect. We had to grow to a certain level, and now it's just spreading, and it's spreading fast. And again, it's spreading because of the initiatives like CCD. It's spreading because of those multiple events that the chapter created over the this last couple of years, as we saw in the videos. And it is spreading because they are committed individuals, leaders like yourselves and members who truly are ambassadors for the organization day in, day out. That never stops, right? That job never stops. What I also think is very interesting about the growth of coaching and growth of ICF is that, again, when I first started with ICF, we seriously spent a lot of time explaining what coaching was. In fact, in the early years, we explained coaching by what it was not, more so than what it was. And then we said, okay, we have to have a better language to describe coaching. This is where the newer definition of coaching came through. And we are not anymore have to say, no, we are not sports coaches. No, we are not these big bosses. And now we are not that very nice fashion company named Coach. So this is really very important. And also another very big, I think, evolution was that at the beginning, coaching really was applied more to individuals, right? Coaching was happening on an individual basis. And then before we know it, organizations and corporations, for-profit world, started really taking on coaching, seeing the effectiveness of it, still kind of happening at the individual level. And then what happened is that we saw governments starting being curious about coaching, and again, applying coaching into the governmental affairs. And then, you know, music to my ears was when the social sector and not-for-profit organizations and charities started also looking into leadership development for their people through coaching. So in a fairly short period of time, we saw coaching approaching every sector of the economy. Again, to Vijay's point, growing the market for coaches and naturally growing this effectiveness and awareness of coaching. One other aspect that I think has been very, very influential was that after some years of being skeptical, universities and colleges started also embracing coaching. First, as some of the curriculum offerings for the business school, organization development schools. But by now, there are many universities that are doing two things. One, offering degrees in coaching. And second, offering coaching as support for students. And there are some universities in India that are doing exactly that. So that is introducing coaching in a fairly early stages of young people's life as they are preparing for taking responsibilities of a grown-up going into the work space. And lastly, speaking of the growth of the industry, not only based on research, we are bringing billions. The field is bringing billions of dollars every year, but also it is good to see that there is a lot of scientific and academic research on effectiveness of coaching, on return on investment in coaching, on return on expectation in coaching. These are all very important tools for all of us to be able to come to those who like numbers and like specific facts to say, yeah, see, this is working. This is really great. And many of our Prism Award winners and honorable mentions really document that return on investment. Last year, Tata Consulting Services won one of the Prism Awards. So that's another indication that it doesn't matter where we are. JK Industries before is from India won Prism Award. So this is really showing that it is so important that those great stories, speaking of storytelling, these great stories of success of coaching are coming from, again, every corner of the world. Now, you are asking, what's the growth opportunities in the emerging future? First of all, I think that the future of coaching is bright. As I said, we don't see any slowdown in people who want to become coaches. We are seeing the plate of demand for coaching growing bigger. We see organizations applying coaching not only to their C-suite levels, but throughout the enterprise. Our studies on strong coaching cultures point exactly to that. One of the elements of the strong coaching culture index is that everybody within the enterprise are afforded an access to coaching. Not that they have to, but they are presented with such an opportunity. We are growing new markets. Our biggest growth recently is observed in Africa and Middle East. So again, the territories that I'll be honest with you, I did not think we're gonna be seeing that growth at this point yet. So so this is something that is pointing into a continuous growth and a bright future for coaching. As we already said, social progress organizations. We are working with United Nations. We are working with several agencies of United Nations. We are working with World Bank, International Monetary Fund. So this very large or humanitarian or economic development organizations are bringing coaching to their fold. We see coaching taking systemic hold in the fields like education, health, or climate. That's very different than what we used to see in a more fragmented way. More corporations, as we said, build coaching cultures, are interested in building coaching cultures, and consider it not nice to have, but really a strategic and business decision. We already mentioned governments embracing it even more, building centers of excellence for coaching. A lot is being said about the new style of leadership that is emerging, or actually probably did emerge over the pandemic, but even before. Coaching is phenomenally useful and successful in supporting those new facets of leadership: inclusive, curious, embracing, vulnerable, asking questions, listening. That all points into the very fast growing field of managers and leaders using coaching skills. We have a lot of research done by ICF. We are finishing the third and last stage of that study. And that's again something that is only expanding the reach of coaching. Systemic coaching, more application throughout the enterprises, as we said, or in the different fields and disciplines, as we said. And also, you know, the technology is supporting coaching quite a bit. I know that there are some people who are slightly afraid of technology, especially artificial intelligence in coaching. But guess what? It's a friend. It's a friend. We just have to befriend it and make sure that the development of the application of artificial intelligence is being led and directed by coaches and coaching organizations like ICF, rather than be left to very smart technology developers who may simply not understand the nature of coaching. And finally, you know, we know from our studies that younger people are very much more familiar with coaching, and also they are very, very open to engage in coaching relationships. In fact, we hear from many organizations, mostly for-profit organizations, that younger people, when signing up for the organization, expect being able to retain a coach, either internal or external. This is a badge of honor, rather than as it kind of started with coaching being more of a punitive or remedial. That's a very significant mindset shift, which I think again is allowing further growth of coaching and greater acceptance and application of coaching. When we speak about the future for coaching, this is also another trend that we are observing, and it is an emergence of team coaching, group coaching, and some other micro or specialty credentials, including our own. We just released, as you know, the team coaching credential based on the core competencies that have been developed by ICF. So what that tells me is that coaching is still evolving. You know, when I first started with ICF, the term internal coaching or leaders, managers using coaching skills, coaching cultures, you never heard those terms. And yet now this is frankly what we all are very familiar with. And that's again something very good. We're not stagnating. We are not stopping. We are exploring new territories, and for that, I think we have the responsibility and opportunity alike. You also asked about what growth looks like for an organization that's already a market leader. Being a market leader in a field is absolutely great, right? It is fantastic that we are recognized as such. There is no other coaching organization that is having such a reach and such a depth as ICF. And at the same time, being the leader in the field is humbling. It is humbling because we carry the responsibility and an obligation for our profession. So what growth means for us is that we need to be really fully aligned and always true to our mission and vision. I think that our vision of coaching becoming an integral part of a thriving society is exceptional, and it's lofty, it's dreamy, and we are daring and doing so that we can have access to coaching for anybody who wants that, and have access to become a coach for anybody who wants that. It also means that we have to stick to our values of humanity, equity, collaboration, and also professionalism. And that's what I mentioned a little bit before with CCD. It is so important that we're true to our ethics and we are true to the highest standard in coaching profession. This is why ICF is investing a lot of resources to make sure that our code of ethics is current. We update it every 3 years, so it reflects the reality for coaches and for clients alike. And we also investing a lot of resources into our credentialing system on two fronts. One, that it reflects the highest international standards for credentialing bodies. And second, that the content of our learning, education, and therefore credentials are reflective of coaching practice and all the new gains in the research on coaching. So again, great to be a leader, and you probably heard it for many that sometimes it's difficult to be a leader because you have to be mindful of who's out there, be mindful of competition coming from unusual sources, and first and foremost, being true to our mission, vision, values, and standards. And you ask also what it means, the growth means for me as the leader in the CEO of the organization. I've been CEO for 10 years, and I am more than humbled by the growth of the organization, by the space we occupy, not just as an ICF, but as coaching, how coaching became embraced, accepted, and now desired, how people are seeking coaching, and how we as a community of coaches are, I think, truly reflective of our vision and standards. I am extremely proud of the leadership of this organization, which is much greater than me, the boards, the chapter boards, people like you, but also, every single person who volunteers in a micro or macro level to bring the name of ICF to greater populations, and to every single professional coach who is on that journey of becoming credentialed, who is on that journey of being educated and continue to be curious and educated in the coaching skills and the coaching field. And it also, I'm very, very proud of my team. You don't find a single person of our team for whom being an ICF staffer is just a job. There is a commitment, there is a passion, there is a huge attachment to a success of coaching and greater application of coaching. So you offered B's, C's, and D's, right? So bold, bright, beautiful, and booming. Coaching, coaches, chapters, and community. Finally, dream, dare, and do. So I want to offer a triple A's, and it is aspiration, ambition, and action. And that's what we do. That's what we do day in, day out as an organization and as a profession. And Vijay, I could not agree more with your one of the closing slides, which was dream, dare, do, succeed, and repeat. Exactly. It is a loop, succeed and repeat. So with that, again, huge congratulations to all of you for the accomplishments of the chapter, for being phenomenal ambassadors for professional coaching, and for being amazing leaders. And over this last 2 years, we became friends. We've been seeing each other a lot, and I'm very happy that I could be part, from afar, seeing this journey during the difficult couple of years of the pandemic. So even with that as well, it's just fantastic to see the results. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Magda. Excellently put across. And the takeaway that I have here from your speech is that ICF globally is growing both vertically and horizontally. Vertically in terms of the numbers, scope of work that we do, and the studies we can take and we do take and things like that. Whereas horizontally, we are growing across geography, user segments, awareness, same time being mindful of the values and the ethics that guide us. We are building a very strong riverbank in a kind of fast-flowing river. That's a takeaway that I have. There are several questions, and in the eyes of mindful of time, let me read out one or two.
Sure.
Yeah. First question is about what steps are we taking to work towards regulating coaching as a profession and also ensure quality of coach training and mentoring. I think the emphasis here is on regulation and quality.
Yes, this is a topic that we are very keenly monitoring as well. As you may know, our current position is that coaching should be self-regulated or voluntarily regulated. In fact, that's the question that we ask in our PricewaterhouseCoopers studies. We ask the question, should coaching be regulated? About 50% of the respondents say yes, and the other 50 is like, nah, no, nah. And you would probably not be surprised that it depends on the geography. It depends on the geography partly because of the different legal systems. For instance, should coaching be regulated in the United States, that would possibly be 50 different regulations. Every state will have a different one. That creates a lot of headache from the perspective of, then do I have to have a license if I want to coach somewhere else? That is very true for international application of coaching. Many of you, I'm sure, coaches people who do not reside in the same geography. That would be questionable if we have regulation. The other thing is, of course, what that regulation would look like. Because if regulation is developed without a very, very deep insight from a coaching profession, it may be just a misunderstanding and some bizarre regulatory requirements that have nothing to do with coaching, quite frankly. Cultural differences, some said, absolutely. So this is why it's tricky. What we are working on, however, is that we would have a greater governmental recognition of coaching. That coaching would be known as a profession. That coaching, depending again on the geography and legal system, would have its own designation for taxes, for designation of the profession. And therefore also could come with some level of requirements. As you know, to be member of ICF, one has to be already a trained coach. So that's already first step that puts us in a different light than some other people who may call themselves coaches. And we still have a lot of education to be done to the purchasers of coaches, hence CCD, right? Where to find a good coach and to know that it is a vetted, externally evaluated and endorsed person.
Thank you. Another one is important for this region. I'm skipping a few questions. Regional growth of coaching. APAC region is seeing a fast growth. And as always, what is the learning that we can take from markets such as US and Europe?
I think that where we see the fastest growth is when large organizations and corporations are embracing coaching. This is a huge accelerator because, as we said, larger organizations tend to be aware of building coaching cultures, and what it means is to have access to coaching available to people throughout. So there is also a good research on the ripple effect of coaching, which means that one person being coached already starts behaving in a little bit different manner to their employees, but also to their families, to their colleagues and friends. And they talk about their experience. And again, based on our research, majority of people, over 90% of people who experience coaching, were very satisfied with it. So they do talk about their experience, and therefore, again, growing that awareness and growing the market for coaching. Quality is absolutely key. So that high standards, we already touched upon it, that's huge in making sure that coaching is perceived in a very positive light, and again, not as punitive approach, not as a remedial approach, but the means for growth, means for building leadership muscle, and means for going from good to great, if I can steal that that term.
Thank you very much. In the interest of time, I will take only one more question, which came very early, very, very topical. What has been the impact of COVID-19 on coaching?
Yeah, actually, COVID-19 seriously accelerated the demand for coaching. We saw two parallel situations. One, we had no idea what to expect for as far as membership was concerned at the beginning of the pandemic. And in the first year, we saw tremendous influx of coaches, but even more so, tremendous influx of applications for credentials. And what we associated it with was, well, when everybody was in a lockdown, people were able to finish their education. So they were eligible to join the organization. People were able to continue with their coaching virtually and were able to apply for the credentials. So we were expecting a big dip afterwards. Nope. Again, we've continued growing. And part of the reason is that in the face of, well, humanitarian disaster, economic disaster, people seriously did not know where to turn. And some, of course, would require more of a medical support. However, many were just lost. Many just needed somebody to have a conversation with. Many people who already were in coaching relationships on the business side started showing up to their business, to their coaching relationships, saying, I know I'm a boss of this organization, but I cannot be a good boss when I am worried about my family, when I'm worried about my kids who are now at school at home, and somebody has to supervise them. And oh, by the way, my people are burned out, and I can't be a good leader until I'm a good person and put together person. So I think that's also why people started seeing this very human side of coaching being very useful, being necessary. And another little tidbit, during the pandemic, many more people, coaches, but especially clients, were willing to turn into virtual means of coaching. And that expanded, again, the opportunity for coaching to happen and the accessibility of coaching. So again, I think that as an organization, I can tell you for sure, we went through the pandemic with really big growth, while so many associations that we work with had tremendous trouble. But I think what's most important is that many more people were exposed to coaching. Many more people will still need it. I just read the report of the United Nations on the progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals. And what just hit me so hard was that the one on mental health stated that the levels of anxiety and depression globally went up by 25%, 25%. Especially in younger people and in women. So as I said, when it's appropriate, medical help may be necessary, but for just coming from a little bit of an imbalance to back to good, coaching may be the very appropriate application to be considered by individuals.
Thank you very much for that reply. In fact, that reminds me of basics of coaching. Adverse conditions for one need not be the same for another. Approach with an open mind. And we always often ask this question in coaching: what does it mean to you?
Yes,
It's actually
exactly.
back to basics. Folks, that's all the questions I'll be able to take. We're a little behind schedule. And thank you, Magda. Please do not go away. Please stay back with us. We still need some little bit more of your time. On behalf of ICF Chennai Charter Chapter, I sincerely express our gratitude for Magda graciously accepting to be present amongst us today. We feel
Thank
honored.
you very much again for the invitation. Great to be with you.
Yeah. We are sure that the chapter will continue on its journey of growth for times to come with your guidance and wishes. Now, I am inviting Vijay back on camera for a special moment, followed by a group photograph with all of us, along with Magda. Vijay.
Thank you, PMC. Magda, that was so amazing. And it was just so, I still can't get over the AAA and how they're playing with the triple Ds. So that's another topic to discuss offline, which I'm sure all of us are going to do. The special moment that we wanted your presence for a couple of more minutes is two things. One is, I always believe that it takes a village to raise a child. So it takes like a community to make an event like this successful. Though I think people are sitting everywhere in Chennai, across the country, across the globe. We have this feeling we're all in the same room. So it's going to be an honor for all of us to have a photograph together with, of course, your presence. So we would go for a group photo. But before that, I have something else very special to do, and I will really be failing in my duty. We had reserved this segment for later, so I'm going a little off script here, team, but please allow me this to call upon the amazing team of leaders, volunteer leaders. It takes a lot to be a volunteer leader on stage here, on Spotlight, just to join us here in the moment. So folks who are with us, Zoom doesn't allow it, but please visualize like we are all getting onto a stage, and you can know the people who have put together this blockbuster and created this story of 2 years. I'm going to be inviting, in no particular order, Priya Sundaram, who is our Director for Marketing and Communications.
Hi, everyone.
Folks, if you are a co-host, please add yourself on Spotlight and join the group here, the stage here. After Priya, I am going to be inviting Baburaj Nair, our Director for Membership. Baburaj, are you there? I'm going to be inviting next up Shriram, who is our Director for Member Experience. Next up is our Director for Technology, Kavita. Shri, please stay on camera. Kavita, please, if somebody can spotlight Kavita, that would be great. Next up, we have our Director for Corporate Engagements and Partnerships, Subramani. And then we have our Director for Community Service Partnerships, Kishore. I think, can somebody bring Kavita on screen if she's there?
I think she has intermittent internet connection.
Okay. So we'll hope to bring her back here when she's here. And sorry, I just lost track of the order. Next up, I am going to invite our Secretary, RKT Krishnan, Secretary and Director for Strategic Initiatives. Krishnan, please join us. We also have our Director, Finance, and our Treasurer, Anna Durai. Anna, please join us. Can we have Anna on Spotlight if Anna is around? I just saw him here. And we will also invite next up on stage Raj Dharmaraj, who is the President-elect, and to whom and team I'm going to be very happy to hand over the baton to. Okay, am I not able to see people on Spotlight, or it allows
I
only?
think there must be some, they are capping it at 9 spotlights, I believe. I'm not able
Oh,
to
is
add.
it? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry to know that. Okay, okay. So perhaps if Raj, you can, stay on the gallery view, that would be great. Yeah. So I can see Raj there. I can also see, I can see Raj there. I'm unable to see.
Anna is missing. Yeah.
Anna is also here, and Kavita is also perhaps here. Okay, so this is always
I'm here,
one big
Vijay.
task. The dirty dozen. I mean, that's not a nice adjective, but let's say the playing 12. I always do this. Counting on my fingers. Okay, did I get 3, 3, 3? Luckily, it's a number divisible by 3. Have I missed out anyone, folks? It's just that I don't have a list, and I've been going a little back and front, spotlighting people. Team, I hope I've not left out anyone. Have I?
I don't think so.
Okay, so folks, this is the amazing leadership team at ICF Chennai, who have led from the front and who have really stuck it together to create the story. So here's a moment in time. Please give your best wishes and congratulations to all members of the team. Thank you, folks. I now, invite everybody to turn on your cameras, because we are going to have a photo ops moment, because we don't want to miss the opportunity with Magda as well. Usually we do it right at the end, but I do understand Magda might have a busy day, and so we will get the photo in before Magda leaves. So I request everybody to kindly turn on your cameras and join us as we record this beautiful, beautiful moment in time. And we will take 3 photographs, just so we get everybody looking their best. So you can adjust your hair and whatnot. Yeah, just so. Okay. Okay. Cheers, everyone. And as always, I was told that I'm the official photographer of the chapter. So thank you for that. And I'm kind of taking on that role myself today before I get assigned. And as always, my request is don't use the chat box, because we will miss the last line. So 3, 2, 1, and we go take 1. Take 1. Let's together dream. Take 2. You know it. Let's together.
There.
Absolutely. And take 3. You can all unmute and say it out loud. Let's
And do.
together.
Do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Magda. And back over to you, PMC.